And it ties in with Romans chapter 12, which I just read, in Hebrews chapter 12. Verse number 9. Starting at verse number 9. It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence, which shall we not much rather be in subjection to the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but He for our profit, that we might be partakers of His holiness. Now no chastity for the present seemed to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Wherefore lift up the feeble hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. There's not one of us in here today that likes to be corrected by God. The human side of us, we don't like to be corrected by God. As a parent now of 3 children, I see all 3. There's not one of my kids that likes for me to correct them. But they realize that when they do as me and my wife tell them to do, and then they go to school and they get good grades and they go in and people like them, and they realize that, hey, mom and dad must know a little bit. And that's the same way that we live our lives. Amen. God corrects us. At times we think, God, I don't understand. And I believe God is going to mold us more. And I'm going to step away from the word correct, because I believe correction is a big part of how God molds our lives. Amen. God is going to mold us in 2011 into something that we never thought we could be. But the only way we can be molded by God is to allow God to correct our lives in areas that we think, well, God, I don't need correction in this. I watched many people walk out of church doors because they did not like the correction that God was placing on their lives. But there was 2 things that stuck out. And one of them, and it all sums up in verse 14. Follow peace with all men was the first one. Was unity. The devil's going to try to attack the unity of this church in a way that we never dreamed of. If there's ever a time we need to bind together, yes. More than we did in 2010. That's right. Like I said, church, there's going to be great victory. I feel there's going to be great victory. But there's also going to be a great battle that we're going to have to fight. Amen. I believe, amen, that we're going to see some souls won in this community, but not without a fight. I believe we're going to see some drug, addicts and alcoholics come in and get delivered, but not without a fight. Why? Amen. Because everything comes with a fight. It's just like a child. If you just give a child a car, they don't take care of it most of the time. But if that child works for that car, I remember on my first car, it was a 1984 Ford Tempo for $400. Was not street ready. My mom and my grandfather said, if you come up with one half of it, we'll meet you halfway. That's how my career at McDonald's started. I was bound to get me a car. I was bound to buy me a car that I could not drive even once I bought it. Still had a little work to do on it. But the victories that we get in 2000, that all comes to what I was talking about. The victories that we're going to face in 2011 is victories that you're going to have fought for. and they're going to mean more to you than anybody else. Why? Because you fought for those victories. Amen. I watched too many churches, amen, where they think, I want this to come out right. Amen. I've watched too many churches and think, well, amen, I'm going to leave it up to the ministry to fight. I'm going to leave it up to brother so-and-so to fight. No, I believe that if we individually in this place in 2011 say, you know what, I'm going to fight for something this year because I want to have a victory of my own. I'm going to fight for something for myself. And I'm not going to rely on a preacher. I'm not going to rely on a Sunday school teacher. I'm going to fight for myself. Why? Because I want to taste victory for myself. But the devil's going to try to stop that through discord in the church. Follow peace with all men. Basically talking about unity and holiness. Staying true to what God has for us. I'm almost done. Staying true to what God has for us. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet. Unity in the church. And walking that straight and narrow pathway in 2011. We're going to see some victories. How many's ready to fight? I'm ready to take this community. I've watched a couple rodeos. And and people think the bull riders are the crazy ones. It's them clowns that are the crazy ones. Because they get the bull to chase them. And sometimes those clowns don't get away. And they make that bull mad at them. They make him get away from that rider so the rider don't get hurt. Amen. Today, amen. I wonder if I could just say this: become a spiritual clown. You know what? Devil, come after me for a little bit. Amen. Chase me around the ring for a little bit. I'm going to get you back in that chute one way or the other. You're not going to wreak havoc anymore. Amen. Today, amen. Tonight, if we can make up in your mind, Sister Hicks, you want to see your family come in. Amen. We got to be willing to fight. Amen. We want to see, amen, Sister Angie's family come in. We got to be willing to fight. Personally, amen, I've got to fight because I want to see victory for myself. But we cannot afford the way the devil's going to attack the church is through compromise this year.
Yes.
And I don't want nobody to lose out. I want everybody that's here tonight. There's different people here. Look around. There's different people here tonight than there was last year on Watch Night service. Some of the same, but there's basically a different crowd here tonight. I want to still be part of the crowd in 2011. Sitting here saying, you know what? I made it through another year. Yes. And I'm going to be going in, I'm going to have us take a little time.